The only Middle Eastern country that flying F-35 is Israel. But after Abraham Accord was signed by Israel and its neighboring countries, the thing will change. The Trump administration was able to overcome Israel's initial objections to the move, which followed the normalization agreement that the US brokered between the UAE and Israel. If the deal goes through, it will make the UAE only the second Middle Eastern country after Israel to fly the F-35, though Saudi Arabia and Qatar have also expressed interest. Turkey had been a partner in developing the F-35 but was kicked out of the program by the US last year. As reported by Asiatimes, US President Joe Biden has halted the sale of F-35 stealth jets to the UAE, even though they were promised as part of the Abraham Accords. The new administration has raised concerns the UAE might use these jets against the rebel Houthis in Yemen. The Houthis have no air force and only rudimentary air defenses. The UAE has a decently sized air force made up of 77 F-16s and 63 Mirage 2000s. The UAE operates with Saudi Arabian air assets against the Houthi insurgency in Yemen. Saudi Arabia has 42 F-15s, 74 light attack F-5s and 44 Tornado fighters. There have been a number of previous incidents where the Saudis and UAE have allegedly hit civilian targets, either on purpose or by accident. In any event, the F-35 is mostly a worthless fighter when it comes to the Houthi insurgency. It is an air superiority fighter plane, not really a fighter bomber, and certainly far inferior to the F-15 for exacting damage in ground attacks. There is no reasonable case that the sale of F-35s has anything at all to do with Houthis, other than as a Biden administration punishment of the UAE. Why would Biden want to punish the UAE and weaken the ability of Gulf states to confront growing Iranian regional power and Iran's future acquisition of nuclear bombs and missile delivery systems? Even if Biden changes his mind, the damage is already done. The UAE, not to mention Saudi Arabia, has now lost face in the Biden nod to Iran and seen its ability to counter the Iranian threat diminished.